My name is Zivisai Chinoda, nee Wekwete. I'm 63 years old now. I was born in 1962, March, the 21st of March. I was born in a family of 7 girls and 1 boy. My father was a teacher and my mother was a community health worker. We grew up in a rural area known as in Zimbabwe, in Masvingo, in Gutu. So that's where I went to school. I did my primary school where my father was teaching. Then after my primary school, I went on to a boarding school where I did my Form 1 to Form 4. That was 1976 to 1980. So I went to primary school at the school where my dad was teaching up to grade 5. Then I went to Magadziri school for grade 6 and 7. Then I wrote my examinations and I went to secondary school at Good Secondary School where I did my Form 1 to Form 4 till 1980. Then after 1980, I had a gap year where I did I became a temporary teacher, and it was quite an exciting year because that was my first time to have the money of my own. So in 1979, when I was in Form 3, that's when the Chimuringa war was going on, and our school was affected as well. Then it was closed. Then we went home. So when I got home that week, I found out that these freedom fighters were doing meetings, Pungwe in our area. So we were called for Pungwe. Ndomvataenda tose parents angu. So kudana kwatakaita. And unfortunately, when we were there, we were attacked nema soldier, and we just ran away in the darkness. Then we walked all night. We walked, running away from these Smith soldiers, and we had a comrade who was leading us as we were running away. Then were
you running together as a family or?
No, the family is like we're at a Papungwe. Then it's just Takango teaser going, and it's just like each one would be running away from wherever they were going. So me with other groups of some people, we just went away, but there wasn't any of my relatives, but we were the people. I knew them because we lived together in that area. So we just ran away. So in the running away, we saw kutitanga tiri in a group yanga chitova nechi na comrade wanga warimo, and comrade James. Saka ndobva vatotanga kuti director kuti tichitiza tichienda. Saka we walked for a whole night tichienda kubhesi ranga riri kure away kwavaigara. So when we arrived there, we about more than 10 people, boys and girls. Then we stopped there all day. Then the following night, then they had to have another pungu again in another area, Kubako, kuside Kubako. So we had to go with these comrades. And that night again, I was sitting in the house. Some were sitting outside. The soldiers were also attacked again by the soldiers. Ndobva vauya ndobva varidza pfuti. This time I didn't run away because I was in the house and I was afraid to go out because you could see my bullets, light for the bullets crossing pamba dzichipfuura dzimba. Then after, when everybody had run away, these soldiers came and they got us out of the house because there were some people in the house, but already they'd shot some people dead who were there, and they were lying on the yard. So we went there and we lied down. When we lied down there, the soldiers came and they were kicking those people who were dead, and even us, they were hitting us, saying, you know what was happening and everything. But unfortunately, me, I didn't know anything because I was at school. Then a few nights from school, I came to the Kwinda Kupungwe, so I didn't even know what was happening and I was so confused. But because the soldiers were wanting to find information, they were just hitting us. Then after that, there was this Puma yakauya, and there was this comrade who was dead. The soldiers, and they chose some people to go on the truck and were taken to go to police. So when we were getting to the truck, they made us lift that dead body of the magandanga. Then we takamusumudza ndokumisa mutruck mupuma. Then we were put in that puma and went to go to police station. When we got there, we were interviewed one by one. Tichirohwa, takarohwa to the point yokuti one of my ear anga isingachanzwi because vainyatsoruwa ndemupama uchiwira uko, ruwa ndemupama uchiwira uko, takarohwa zvekuti but inini manje I had nothing to tell because I didn't know kuti even makadhanga chari kupi, anogara kupi. So what I was just saying is, ini ndangobvawo kuchikoro, then I was told kunzi kune pungwe. Then I just went. I don't even know. But unfortunately, vamwe vanhu vasikana vatanga navo vanga vatova vana mujibha vaigara kumusha kudhara. Vanga vatova vana mujibha vanga vachitoziva makomurezi nezvavaita. So they were saying things. Inini chaindirovesa nechekuita as if handisoda kuvapa information. But I didn't know anything.
Are they black or white people?
They were mixed. They were mixed, black and white. So takaenda ikoko tichidobva taiswa kwataigara, kwataingonorarawo one by one. Tozopuwa sadza muzidhishi rakakura kudai nenyama yakangoiswa munhingiri, yakangobhoiliwa yakaiswa munyu. Mese muchingonyika maoko muchidya ipapo, muchidya matoda moswera makuseni mofuma futi muchirohwa, being tortured every day. Then after 3 days, that comrade uya anga akangozvambarara vachingoti wada kunomukika, waingonomukika masoja aya vachitocelebrate akakuti tauraya comrade. Then after some 3 days, vamva vamuisa kunenge kusaidi, vamva vatiti torai huni, ndomva tatoreswa huni ndokisa pamusoro pebhodhi ya, vamva vatungidza ndomva yapfuta. So, but they wouldn't let us go. It was apa taenda muna manga muri muna November. It means takagara kusvika December, because I remember takatambira Christmas ndozobudiswa mu New Year mukembi momo.
Did your parents know where you were?
Initially they didn't know. Saka paka the day afterwards vakabva vatanga kutevera vachitsvaga kuti ndiri kupi, because vaingozva kuti vanhu vakangopangatara vachitiza, but vanga vasingazivi ndiri mupenyu here kana kuti handisi mupenyu. Saka vakatevera vakatsvaga nokuti he nearly died because vaiti pavaichovha bhasikoro vainditsvaga nebhasikoro vachidzika mumapurazi ekunana magadzire. Hanzi paiva nezigomba zihombe kuti vangadai vakawira hapana waimbavawana, but Mwari wakangovachengetawo. Saka pavakazonzwa kuti imwe pfungo yaitwa uko kune vanhu vaendeswa vatorwa nepfuma vakaenda nemasoja kugutu, ndopavakazoteverawo kugutu. Vakangoshinga because it was so risking, but ivo because vanga vane concern vakati it's better ndinosungwa hangu ndaziva kuti mwana wangu uri kupi. Ndopavakazouya nobva vationa, and he was also questioned kunzi chii ndiwe unopa vana kumagandanga chichi. Baba vakangovaudza kuti inini hangu handingarambi ndakamaona magandanga, but zvakangofanana nemi, ivo vane pfuti imi mune pfuti, mukangouya kwandiri ini sina pfuti ndinongoita zvamunoda nokuti handina pfuti. Saka but vakanzi aiwa mwana wenyu hatimubudisi, tichazobudisa tava neinformation yese yatiri kuwana. Saka then ndopavakazoziva kuti ndiri kupi, but vanga vasingabvumidzi kundivigira kana chinhu kana chinyi. Taingorarama ipapo tichingovata mune imwe imba tichidini. Saka but takarohwa the whole week, vaitirova every zuva rimwe nerimwe vachida kuti tibudise information. So mbva ndazobuda, that was 79 kutanga kwaro. Chikoro nobva chazovhagwa, nobva pakavhagwa chikoro. Pandakazobuda muna December, baba vakabva vatitsvagira nzvimbo kumasvingo, nobva tazonopinda kumasvingo yainzi Great Zimbabwe College, because zvikoro zvizhinji zvomumasvingo zvanga zvabvahwa. So pakaitwa mubatanidzwa wemaschools nematicha vacho, nobva vangovhura chikoro changa chakangoita college. Saka vana vese from all the schools ndokwatakanga tavakuenda ikoko kuchikoro. Ipapo ndandiri muform 3, saka takabva tangopinda form 3 iya kusvika yapera, kusvika pakazoita independence, because the independence yakazoitwa 1980 ndopakazovhota vanhu, ndobva Mugabe awina. Saka takazovhurirwa chikoro takupinda muform 4, takazonotanga tava muindependence, tobva kumasvingo college. Saka kumasvingo ndaigara namamai Charema nababa Charema. Mai Farai vaigarawo sister wangu vaigarawo nomumwe munin'ina wamai. Saka taingotoonana tichienda kuchikoro tichidzoka, tichienda kuchikoro tichidzoka. But vana baba kumbata tisingachaendi because kwakuri kuti ukatoenda unobva watotargetwa aidza nemakomrades acho kana kuti nemasoja acho. But baba vaitudzwa kuti pane mumwe mukomrade akavaudza kuti mudhara endesai vana kuchikoro, vabvisei kunoku vaendesai kuchikoro. Kune mamwe makomrades anga achitova nefocus and aida vanhu zvokuti vaitopa magood advice kuti maparents itai so. But saka izvo zvakatotibatsirawo kuti isusu tiende kumasvingo, because ifanira kuti vamwe vairoverwa kunzi muri kuendesa vana venyu kumatown kune masoja. So but apa fortunately they were very positive kuti tiende kuchikoro. Zvenursing salvation yangu zviri pa
mukaita zvokuti mapedza chikoro nekuzoita chinesi nekuqualifya then.
Okay, so pandakapedza 1980 chikoro ndopandakaita temporary teaching. In the meanwhile ndichiaplya, saka ndakaaplya kunursing, ndobva ndadaidzwa ndakapasa. Actually ndakapasa chinhu chandasingochina handisina yanga chiri chirungu, but ndanga ndine English literature, so I had 7 subjects, maths nescience and handinazvo, saka ndakaacceptwa kuparenyasva group of hospitals. Ndobva ndaenda kuinterview. Pandakaenda kuinterview ndandisati ndambosvika kuHarare, saka ndakaperekedzwa namai vangu kuinterview. Ndobva ndaenda ndokunoita interview ndokupedza, ndobva ndaiswa muintake ya 81. Saka ndakapinda ndanga ndiri muC81. It means I started in September 1981 for 3 years, which is ndakazopedza 81, 82, 83, 84 September ndopa ndakazoqualifya kuita nurse. Saka ndaqualifya kuita nurse, I was deployed kuMasvingo. Ndobva ndanoshanda paMusiso hospital because mazuva ayo government yanga ida kuti iindise vanhu vari more trained kuma rural areas. Saka ndakanoshanda paMusiso hospital kusvika ndazo transfer kuenda kuChivu General Hospital in 1985 to join my husband.
How was the training and everything?
The training was okay in such a way that we'll be taught what to theories. We do the theories, then after the theories we do the practicals. So the nurses, the instructors were very supportive, so it wasn't all that bad. It wasn't a bad experience, but it was okay because we're just sailing through, and also with my friends and also everything. That's where it comes that I was also going to church. So most of my spare time I would go to church, I'll go for prayers. Then when it comes to work, we do whatever we are supposed to be at work. So it wasn't like so hard, but anyway, I sailed nenyasha zamwari. I finished when I went to Chivu Hospital. I worked as a junior nurse and everything was fine. It was a very small hospital, but it was a good hospital. We had a good experience because we would have vanenge vaita accidents. Most of them, they would come to Chivu Hospital and then be transferred to Harare or Parinyatwa Hospital. Then in 1989 I applied for midwifery, so I went for midwifery training in 1989 to 1989 to 1990. So I did my midwifery training at it was Harare Hospital for a year. Then I got my certificate and I went back to work at Chivu Hospital because that's where my family was, and I worked as a midwife, which was a very I liked midwifery because and I enjoyed working with the women, and we doing deliveries and cesarean sections, which was quite good and a good experience. So that's all about my training.
And how was life working in Chivu? What did you do from a work point of view, from starting to then after leaving Chivu?
Okay, working as a nurse those days, it was quite a good job, and if you had a willing heart to help, you would help. What I say, I think it wasn't we had equipment, unlike some these days where people saying there's no equipment, there are no medication. Those times we had some medications, we had some equipment, and we had some procedures which could be done on the district level, which we managed to do, and all the complications were being sent to bigger hospitals. So according to my experience, it was a good experience that we had the opportunity to help the people at a primary level where they needed initial diagnosis and whatever. It was a crucial point where we could identify, or where you could find out that somebody has got a condition which needs more attention, or which needs a specialist, so the patient will be referred. So it was quite a challenging but fulfilling job, because we were helping people to be healthy and to receive whatever medical needs they have. So to me it was quite fulfilling. And also had these guidelines, a book, I don't know whether it's still there, called ADLIS, where you would just diagnose a person as a nurse or as a whoever there, then you can easily start treatment without even waiting for the doctors. The doctors will come and confirm, but this gives us the confidence in our practice to help the people at the first encounter. Unlike where somewhere where you have to wait for diagnosis, for this. But I really appreciated this system whereby we were empowered to take action and to help the people at the initial assessment. When I was training, I started as a student nurse, then I qualified. I went to Musiso, where I worked as a junior nurse in a ward level, at a ward level. And with the same post, I transferred to Chifu Hospital, and I worked as a junior nurse for some time, till after I did my midwifery, which was 1990. Then there was a post of a senior sister, a vacant, which was there at Chifu Hospital. So I applied. Then we went for interview, because the interviews for the sisters in charge were being done in Harare at the head office. So we went, we were about 4 of us, then we went for the interview. And we came back. We stayed maybe more than 6 months without any replies or any results. Then after that, when we had already forgotten about it, then they wrote a letter that I was promoted. I was chosen among the 4, and I was promoted to a senior nurse in 1991. So I worked as a senior nurse at Chifu General Hospital until I retired in I resigned. I didn't retire. I resigned in 1997.
Where did you go after that?
Wow, that's a story now. I resigned in 1980, and I wanted going into business. So I had a shop, a sewing shop, where I had bought some machinery, where I hired some people, and I ordered some materials and would make clothes and also whatever. It was like a sewing shop where we could sew anything and sell it, and also we were trying to make some bulk things like dresses or t-shirts, so that we can market them to other wholesalers or to other stores. So I had a shop in Chivu which was called the Purple Garment. So I operated on this shop, but it didn't do well in terms of cash turnovers. So I finally closed the shop. Then I just started ordering things and doing things like just buying and selling.
Where were you buying from?
From Harare, and selling clothes in Chifu. Then when I saw that, oh, it wasn't working, then I thought, okay, what should I do? I had a friend who told me that, okay, these days people are going to UK, so you might chance to go to UK, because in UK they want nurses, and they've got
that private.
So I planned to come to UK, and when I planned to come to UK, I prepare for the ticket, and I put the money together, and I came to UK. But that time I was just coming like I'm visiting, but I was intending that if I'm given a visa for 6 months, I would work and then go back home. But unfortunately, when I came, I wasn't allowed in. So they just gave me 1 week in England, then to go back with the next flight. So I came into UK, and I stayed at what's her name now? Yeah, I have to go and see my Bennett. She really did a good job to me. She looked after me. She encouraged me. You know, when you get something, such a thing, you know, home I finished all the money I had, and I have to go back home. I don't have anything, and they are being sent home. But my Bennett and also my Manaka phoned me, and she spoke to me. She comforted me and everything. And my Bennett took me to her house, because some of the people wouldn't want to associate with people who Zivisai kumba. So my Bennett took me to her house. She kept me. You know, she knew, oh, Mama, I know your heart, I know what you're out, but you go, you come back again, don't worry. So, and also that, you know what it is like when you're so disappointed and so long. Then she asked me, can you preach for us? And I still remember the message I preached. I preached about Abraham crying for children, and he was saying, is this Eliezer who's going to be my heir? And God says no. Your heir is going to come out of your loins. So I stayed there 1 week. So the man I had, so I just had to do a little bit of shopping, then I went back home. So when I went back home, I had to think what to do. So the only way I could recover the money because I'd borrowed the money to come over here. I had to go back to work. So what I had to do, I had to apply to Wange Hospital. So I was taken. It's a private hospital, so I was taken. So I had to leave my family and go to Wange to work, because now I had my machines. I borrowed money, so those machines I was using in my shop, I had given them to somebody that, okay, you give me the money to fly, so when I go and work I can redeem them. But now I didn't have the money. I'm back and there's nothing, and the house was on mortgage. We needed to pay the mortgage for the house. We needed to find food for the children. So I had to swallow my pride and go to Wange. So I went to Wange and I was working. It was a 3-month contract. So when I was at Wange, then there was this program which came out for what to call it?
You're saying?
No, the thing you couldn't go on.
Oh, census.
Yeah. So it was a year when they were doing a census for the whole country. So the program was looking for people who could go into the areas and count the people. And it's so much money in it. So what I had to do, I had to apply. Then I was taken and I was put under Masvingo province. So at the same time we were talking with my friend my Makara. Then I told her about this, because she had also resigned. I told her about this program. Then she also applied. So we were all in the same group with my Magara. So we went for this program in Masvingo, where we went all over Masvingo province doing the census. We were a team, health team, the environmental team. We were about a team of 6 people and the driver. So we'd go around doing the census, counting people, doing whatever, you know what is. So we did this for about 6 months. Then it got ended. So I had some money, and now I wanted to come back to England, and I was thinking, how am I going to come to England? So, and I needed to look after my family, because I needed to pay the mortgage and everything. So after the census, what would I do? I wouldn't go back to Jivu and just sit. I needed to raise the money. So I went to Dr. Makura's surgery. Then when I went to Dr. Makura's surgery, that's when I stayed there. I worked there as a nurse, and I also had the money which I was keeping. So I don't know, I got in contact with Mai Muringani. We were always talking, and she was talking to Daddy. Then she said, there's a program yavanhu vari kutora agency iri kutora vanhu vachiusa kunoku, but vanoda kuti vanhu vacho vatange vabhadhara mafees. Then said, it's okay, I will pay that for mommy if you are willing to do any other things. So my Muringani paid, it was about £2,000, paid the money to the agency and got to Sheffield. Then when she had paid, then they sent me the adaptation letter that they have got a space for me. The money is being paid, and also my Muringani was sponsoring me. So she said, I'm going to sponsor her pavanogara, but vanongoya vachinda kubasa, because then fortunately it worked out that way. So when they sent me the letter, I had to apply again. Now I had to apply the visa before I came, because initially we would get the visa on entry. So I had to apply while I was in Zimbabwe. So because it was very clear, everything was straightforward, now I wanted to come to work. I got the visa while I was still working at the Makurira. Then after I got the visa, then I came here in England in 2001. That's when I came in August. Then I did my adaptation for 3 months. Then I worked at the Gables nursing home. Then I started bringing in my children without their consent. I've said before that I was born in a family of 7 girls and 1 boy. And I am the 4th girl. And the boy is this number 7. So we grew up in a family which had so many children, but one thing I can say, our parents were very blessed because they loved us all the same, and they sacrificed for us. They made sure that we get food to eat. We had full roof over our heads. They had a good home. And my mother was also very virtuous. She would do all sorts of projects like rearing chickens, keeping some pigs, and everything. So we wouldn't say that we lacked things, because we would eat, and she would even give the neighbors whatever is there to share. So as I grew up, we also our parents trained us to be hands-on. We worked. We taught to do the chores very early, to clean the houses, to wash our clothes, and also to look after one another. They taught us all those things. Though sometimes we'll be naughty, but they would always correct us. My mom was very strict, so we will make sure that we do what she says. And also, even though my dad was a teacher, we also had to grow some, do some gardening, to sell some vegetables. And also we would plow in our fields, and we would work in our fields, we weed in our fields, because they made sure that we work and get the food to eat. So as I may say that when you're a child, and when your parent is telling you to do this, you think, oh, it's not, you'll be very angry, and you wouldn't want to do it. But right now I appreciate what my mom was teaching me, because I can now apply it in my own house, in my own life. And she didn't teach us to kuti tive vanhu vanongopema, vanhu vanongokumbira zvinhu, but he taught us to work with our hands. I don't forget tsumo yavanongotaura kuti simba mukaka rinoyerera. That is what she always say. So sometimes when I'm tired, simba mukaka, it means yange rikapera iko zvino, ukangozorora paunotosumuka unenge watova futi nerimwe simba. So haugoni kuti ndinozopera simba, because simba racho hariperi, rinoramba richingouya. So you need to work, kuzvirovedzera kushanda paunofanira kuti ushande, kuita zvaunofanira kuita kuti zvinhu zvitoita. So it means inyaya resilience yayo kungoti okay, I'll do it because zvichaita, and I still have the energy to do it. So that is ndiko ndo munhu akandiinspire kana kuti anondiinspire panguva dzose dzandinenge chifunga, because she was a hard working. So inini namasiblings angu atakangokura zvakanaka, but just like siblings, sometimes you fight, sometimes you quarrel, but asi zvinhu zvaya zvokuti takasvika pakuti hatitaudzani namasiblings edu. Up to now we have got that love together, we live together, we are there for one another, uye kuti tinotaurirana chokwadi, we just say openness yekungoudzana kuti this should be done this way, this should be done this way. And that this has helped us also to even nevana vedu isusu, we as siblings, we have also taught them to be in unity. Even kuna baba as a family from my father's side, we were taught kuti vana baba vanongona vana baba. We kuna baba munini, hakuna ango, hakuna chinyi. Kana if it is your father's brother, ndi baba. If it's your mother, sister, ndi mai. So it helped us to knit us together, and it also helped us kuti nyangu taita ma problems taigona kuenda kune vamwe baba, taigona kuenda kune vamwe mai, because of that which have been taught nokuti ivo vanga vachingovawo nerudo rwavo rwakadaro. So I think this is something which we chandingoshira kuti as a legacy chive chinoenda on and on, so that we as vana vedu nevana vevana vedu varambe vachingova together, being there for one another.
What was the hardest thing in your childhood?
The hardest thing in my childhood? Maybe I can't say, but there's a thing which I didn't want as a child was to be beaten. Yeah, there was nothing. If I look back, even zvatainzititena namai, zvaingova zvandakangoti vana vangu vaite. Havana kumbondifosekeza, and we didn't lack, because my mother was hard working, my father was a teacher. Kuchikoro tese 37, we went to secondary school, vachibhadhara maboarding fees acho, maiyanga achitori maboarding, kwakusati kwaane maday schools. So nothing was very hard. Kungoti kana uri mwana unenge uchingonga kuti ndiri kuomeserwa ukangoona some of the things, but looking back I can't say kuti my parents vangu akandiomesera chimwe chinhu in life, but actually they helped me to be where I am now, and they supported me. And my parents anga ne transparency, vaikuudza and vaiziva pekugumira, and how to tell you, because right now I still remember what my father used to say takabva neikoko munga kunepwa. So now when chimboitai takabva neikoko munga kunepwa, so it's a person anenge achida kukuratidza kuti okay, pane zvinhu zvachisangana nazvo in life wozoona kuti ndozviya, but he wouldn't tell me at that stage, because ndisingazvinzwisisi. Saka unogoti imboitai takabva neikoko munga kunepwa. So it has helped me also as a parent kuti okay, pane zvimwe zvinhu zvandinogona kunge ndichida kudzivisa vana vangu, but ivo vasingatonzwisisi kuti why. So sometimes kuti vana va-experience that thing, it's okay. Vozongonzwisa kuti oh, that is what it means. Okay, that's because as a parent you would want your children to avoid your own mistakes. Okay, ita hapana baba zvinzaho, because we are already learning from my past. But sometimes I have seen that it doesn't work with my children, because they don't understand why. So that's where this yokuti chimboita itakabva neikoko munga kunepwa. It's okay. If I can say, inini ndakasangana nemurume wangu kuchurch. pataenda kuchiedza chenyika we just became friends, and I knew him because of Bishop Chinoda, who was the brother and he's the one who was shepherding me. So we also grew in praying together, going market meetings together and all those. That's how I became I came to know him. So zvekuvheta zvacho zvizhinji, the first priority yekuvheta in my life was okay, ndoda mukomana akagamuchira Jesu akaponeswa seniwo ndakaponeswa. Nokuti Bible rinoti do not be unequally yoked. Nokuti ukapinda pajoko rimwe nemunhu asina kuponeswa, mainterest ako kazhinji kacho anozombokupedzisira akubvisa pana Jesu. So to me it was my prayer answered also kuti ndawana murume akaponeswa, and by then he was a secondary school teacher, so it was okay. And tatichipindirana, going to the same church, tiri my friends, tiri kaseiko kedikako kama friends, so it was okay. So when he came to say he loves me, it was, I think inini zvanga zvatova obvious kuti okay, this one. So it wasn't like a complicated thing. So when he came, we got in love in 1983? Yeah, 1983. That's when he proposed. Then I said yes. Then we went and we told the church elders, the prophet, Mami Maibo, and it was okay because that was the thing we could do. So atakanamata svedu taifamba tese iwaiva kumasvingo ina. I was in Harare doing my training. Then when I finished my training, that's when I was deployed to Zaka Jerera kumasvingo kwa Msiso, and iwe vaiticha kwa Mapanzure. So it was okay, but we all attending church in Masvingo under Pastor Magara. So that was 1983. 1984 ndopatakazoronga zvokuroora nokuchata, beginning of 1984. Is it 1984? Okay, 1985. Okay, so it's 1985. That's when we got married in April 1985. Is it April? No, it's June 1985. That's 29 June 1985. That's when we got married in Masvingo. Takachatiswa na Bishop Erasmus Utawanashe. Then after that, our parents were still not satisfied with Itachata, so they arranged another wedding in Gutu. They sponsored everything except us. Tistakangono appear because they wanted us to have a wedding in Kumba Kumusha kwa Gutu. So we went in August in the Batakanita Mchato Kumusha, and it was very good. It was successful. I think that was the first wedding kwa Wekwete. So that's why even when I go home now, some of the people, they know me, but just because ndakangova impact in their lives, vakangona muchato this wedding. So they were very young, but they still know me. And also it was my desire to anoekumba kwedu vaparidzirwe Jesu. So baba Utawanashe vakauya vakaparidza, vakakwira padrum nokureba kwavo ikoko. It was a good wedding. It was nice. So after that, ndopandakazobva kwaMusiso. My husband became a pastor. that year 1985, and he was deployed to Chifu to pastor the family church Kuchifu. So that's when I started also applying for a place, and I finally transferred to Chifu General Hospital. So in Chifu, I was working as a nurse, but as well as a pastor's wife. That is the other side that also impacted my life and my family. So when I went to Chifu, we just started staying with other people. Way before I had my own child, I had about 5 or 6 people in my house already living as my own children. So I don't know how I managed, but I managed to stay with them until some of them got married, some of them went away. And I had my first child in 1986 in June. When I had my child, I know what my parents, my mother vaifunza kuti saka atodini zvari mwana wokutanga, because some of these kuchivanhu vanenge vachiita zvokuita mishonga kana kuti zvokusungira vana muhuro kana zvokuisa nhova vachiti munhova, but isusu takangoudza kuti isusu isatiiti izvi because tiri vaKristu. Kana zvekusungira mbudzi zviya takangoudza kuti isatisi kuzviita, tiri vaKristu. Saka chinhu chakandi encourageawo ndechekuti even maparents vangu they would respect zvataitaura inini nomurume wangu kuti this one hatidi, this one hazviiti. My parents, baba vangu vaimwadoro, mai vangu vaimwadoro, but they wouldn't come to our house nedoro ravo, to the point yekuti baba vaisiya doro ravo pagedhe vodzokera vombobuda vonomwa, but mumba vanga vasingapindi naro. So but I think it was just a testimony yokuti vanhu vairespecta our family nezvatinobhilivhawo nesu. So my first child came in 1986. I gave birth at Parinyatwa Hospital. Then I lived about 4 weeks at the prophet's house, being looked after by my prophet. Then prophet drove me home after 6 weeks. Then my second child is...
Before you got your second, how was it being a first-time mother?
Being a first-time mother, it's just you discover things as you go. Mwana anochema, anenge achida mukaka. It's like a program yako iwewe. It won't be more about you, but it will be more about this. Mwana anenge aripo ndomuitire chi, what's next. I think ndo zvinotoita kuti life itombofamba ipapo, because iwewe unenge usingachafunga nezvako zvakawanda, because unenge ungova attention kumwana. But it didn't hazvo kundi-affect, as I said, kuti kumba kwako ine vanhu vanga vakawanda vanga vachichengeta mwana, uye kuti tatine musikana webasa. So zvaindibatsira kundipawo relief. I could go to kubasa ndoyo ndobata mwana, but unenge aswirawo nemusikana. Kana ndakanetawo mwana unenge ane musikana, mumba munocleanwa. Yeah, we talked about a virtuous woman, but I can now come back to okay, virtuous woman we kuno England is more more real than Zimbabwe. Because Zimbabwe mbamangu munogara makachena zvinhu zvake zvogara zvakarongedzwa, but it's not actually you doing it. It's but anyway, inotaurayo kuti unozoitawo mamedzi uchivatuma uchivadini. So you find kuti kumba zvauri kutaura kuti kuva nevana yanga isiri like, kunyanya kuita burden, because you had to help us. that's the thing kuti zvanga zvisinganyanyi, and he would just instruct bikira mwana chakati, ita mwana chakati, so it wasn't so hard because unenge uchitofocusawo pane zvimwe, unenge uchitofocusa pazvimwe. If you want to go to church usingaenda nemwana unongosiyira musikana mwana, so it wasn't like so like a challenge, no.
And what do you remember about my childhood? Samana, what was I like? Kukura kushuka maybe matazo yangu Mungu, but just my character traits, or maybe ndichiri mudiki.
No, iwewe uchiri mudiki. Oh, chakangoita ndechoti you grew up with people around you, so everyone was watching you and everyone was aingokuda semwana wapastor nditi. So it means iwewe wanga uchitoraramawo under influence yokutoziva kuti ndiri mwana wapastor, and most say liberty. So izvozvo zvakakupawo confidence yokuti unogona pane vanhu vanotondizivawo kuti ndiri panapa. But you didn't have an outstanding personality, but he would just love kungoitawo zvinoita vanhu. Chinhu chandonyatsorangarira ndechoti iwewe pawakazonzi unoda kuti kana wakura unoda kuita basa rei, kanzi ndoda kuita basa rokusakotakura masaga. It's because he had these people around you vaingotakura masaga. Saka ndo zvimwe zvandakazoona kuti okay, zvinhu zvanoexposa mwana wako tu ndo zvaanongokura achifunga kuti zveshe zviri normal, zviri right. And isusu didn't realize kuti okay, this environment iri kutoningira itokupa kufocusa that future yekutakura masaga, but it's because the environment of which I can advise people kuti environment yavanokudza mwana wako iri very important, because zvaanoona zvaanoitwa exposed sezvataitaura zvezvekuti kana utoda kuti aite zvetennis chitomuexposa kuzvinhu izvozvo, because that is what. Saka iwewe that is the thing kuti wakakura uri izvozvo, uye kuti wakakura uchingo, because isusu tiri vanhu vaita, tiri vanhu vafundisi, every day kwaiva nemunamato, kwaiva neprayer, kwaiva ne-this function. So that's where the thing zvakakura zvichingova around you. So kuti maybe mimwe misikana zaya waita waizoita outside isusu tisingaoni, because iwe unenge uchitoziva kuti my parents they want this, my parents they want this. To the point yokuti wakatanga kunamata pawakangogona kutaura wanga utoitawo zvokunamata uchisunza maoko uchidini, because that is what you saw. So I think handingati you had an extraordinary, but you were friendly. Hanambonzwa wangu wairova vanhu uchiita misikanzwa kana uchidini. You were just a friendly person, a child, mwana waingoda vanhu.
Called
Lydia akazvarwa ane small body, saka akangozvarwawo kari kamwana kadiki, saka aingova munhu unongonzi Lydia kadiki vakura. Lydia chinhu chandomuziva anga asingadi kudya chimwe chinhu kunze kwekumwa mukaka chete. That's the thing with Lydia. Airamba porridge, airamba zvese, airamba. Saka aimwa mukaka all the time. Saka yangopa ndakazomurumura kudya kwacho kwanga kuri kuchingova kunhonga. Saka Lydia akakura ari munhu anongonzwirwa urombo nevanhu, because she was very tiny. Anga asiri premature, but anga kudai ini wacho ndini asinganyatsoudyawo during pregnancy, but yanga isiri premature, but anga ingova nesmall body. But yakazowesenewa nokuti iye she didn't want to eat herself, she just wanted mukaka. Kusvika pandakatozomurumura pandakaenda kumidwifery, ndo pandakazomurumura achisara kumba, ndobva aizopuwawo zvainge zviripo. Otherwise aingo mwana waingotamba nevamwewo zvakanaka. It was 2 years. 2 years. Ndakamboenda naye the first 3 months. Ndokuzoona kuti unogara nemusikana newe naikoko zvanga chitori wese apa une uchida kusodzoka kuchivhu. So kazoona kuti kutomugarisa kuchivhu because inini I would go. Kana ndanga ndiri kublock ndaenda Monday to Friday. Friday manheru ndokwira ndouya, weekend yesende ndiri kumba ndomukira morning Monday. So it was more stable for the child than ini ndinda ndava kuita up and down. Rachi is like akazoya 6 years after Lydia. Rachi was okay. She hangukura.
I think she was not planned.
She was what?
Mom's not planned with her.
No, she was planned, but because of the movement and aitaura kai kuti kumbo Rachi ndwa 94 and ndakambozoenda kuningiri kunursing kutraining ndokuzodzoka ndokuzogara ndakapedza 1990 ndobva ndazogara 81 82 83 84 handichazivi kuti tatati vakwana here. But anyway, she came 1994. She was okay, well loved. Anga achingova mwana anga achingoriwo independent. Ndeuya kuti waimbonotohwana namai chawira wambonogara vhiki wodzoka womwa achidaro. She was just okay. Hapana zviri pavana vangu handingati pane zvinhu zvanga zviri outstanding zvokuti ndingatoti munhu wega wane outstanding Lydia zvokuramba chikafu wairamba, but ndotonishamisa kuti atofuta ava nebhodhi rakadero, but before she wasn't like that.
If you had one message to pass on to your children that you want them to know, what would it be?
To my children, ndechekuti if you get an opportunity, use or get the most out of it. But if you miss it, don't blame yourself, don't judge yourself. Opportunities come and go. They can always come. So, and you can grab it again. So in every season, there's an opportunity. So you must see the opportunities in your life and embrace them all the days. So, and also enjoy the present as much as possible and appreciate what you have.